while, we know England will come tougher. So we need to be stronger physically and both strong mentally for the 60 minutes, and that will make a difference in terms of the results of the game tonight. So I'm expecting my girls to do well, and I'm expecting England to do well also.
It was almost a perfect game for the Sunshine Girls, even though it was close at the end. What do you think you need to build on, especially and maintain, in order to win this game for?
I think today it's about discipline, it's about decision making. I think we made a lot of errors coming through court, and I think it's something that we really have to capitalize on, especially when we're up. I think we gave England a lot of chances to come back in the game. So it's about being consistent, making the right decision, not forcing the balls too much inside the circle when there's a one-on-one. So expecting them to actually recover and, improve on the things that they didn't do well yesterday.
Thank you, Coach. We'll see you on the field.
You're most welcome.
Yeah, look, it's brilliant. It's come to a decider. I thought we found really good form towards the second half and we won that last quarter. So that's where we want to start today. We need to be stronger at the front of the game so we're not chasing. But I thought we showed some really good grit yesterday, and it's going to take that again today to overcome the Sunshine Girls.
Yeah, I see that Liv Sheen is going to start in place of Helen. Is it that her injury does not allow her to play?
Yeah, she was unavailable for selection today. So Liv will start, and she's had plenty of starts recently and has really done well for us. So, yeah, we're really confident in Liv.
Yeah, you did outshoot the Sunshine Girls, particularly in the second half, especially the end of the game. You did outshoot them. How important is it to now combine the defense with the attack?
Yeah, look, I think both teams enjoyed lots of turnover yesterday. We got the same amount, 28 turnovers. Not good from an error point of view, but from a defensive point of view, for us to compete with the likes of that world-class back line of the Sunshine Girls, then that's really encouraging. But we need to take care of possession today, and we need to smarten up. We gave Shamira and Latanya far too much ball yesterday. So we've had a look, we're good, we're quick learners. So I'm really confident the girls will put a better performance in today.
I'm looking forward to seeing you, Coach. Thank you.
Very much. Thank you.
Yeah, so you've heard from both coaches as we get ready to welcome both teams on the court. The England Roses are already there. And yeah, we're going to see the Sunshine Girls shortly. Let me introduce myself. I am Gerard Morris Sailing, and alongside me, Jamaica Suns captain, as well as Elite League coach, netball analyst extraordinaire, Kurt Dale. Yeah, so we're going to hear from Kurt in a moment. And Kurt, your initial thoughts on this encounter?
Thanks, Gerard. Lovely day to be here today to decide. I'm sure there's a lot of pressure on the players today. It's all to play for today, and the fans are here. They're stacking in the National Indoor Arena, wanting to see a good game, and I'm sure the Sunshine Girls and the Roses are ready to deliver a spectacular game today.
Well, this series is at one apiece. This is the final game in the series, of course. We almost saw a 49-49 draw yesterday, like we did in the first encounter between these two teams in England. And you see the Jamaica Sunshine Girls coming in home, winning the first game by 1 goal. They did extremely well to end with the ball, with possession, run down the clock in the circle, but they still have a lot to work on because they were outshot. And defense really was the crucial part for them in that game yesterday. Latanya Wilson, Jodianne Ward, and of course Shamira Sterling-Humphrey, that world-class backline as Jess Thurlby describes them. They played a crucial role. But if we look at how the England Roses shot coming on to the end of the game, especially, defense is going to be crucial as we wait the national anthems of both teams. So both anthems have been completed. Of course, the Jamaican Sunshine Girls, Jamaica anthem rather. And what better way to follow up the anthem with the starting lineup? Well, there is a big change. Katie and Dehaney will now start at the goalkeeper position. Shamira Sterling Humphrey goes up to goal defense. No Jodie Ann Ward. Kurt, what do you think of this starting lineup?
Big decision there by Sasha Gay Henry. The dynamic trio is not starting today, but you know, it should be an interesting game. Katie and Dehaney as she's calling the Suncorp Super Netball at our West Coast Fever Club. She's an outstanding player and she should come on and make some impact. She has the height to match up with Liv Sheen, but
yeah, and we can see our player to watch, Denise Beckford, who scored the game-winning shot. Yesterday she had, of course, a shooting percentage of 83%, making 19 of her 23 shots. She was pretty good assisting Romelda Aiken-George, Shanice Beckford.
How incredible is Shanice? That last play in that 49 seconds, how she demanded the ball in that moment and she took control of the game and she ensured that the Jamaica were up 1 at the end of regulation time. It was awesome to see, and that's experience. She has been around for a long time and she has been super consistent. Really proud of
a change as well for
Shanice.
England there. Liv Sheen started in place of Helen Housby, who is injured. She went down with an injury left in the first quarter, and that's a big blow. But Liv Sheen, she was extremely good as well. She had a shooting percentage of 96%, 26 of her 27 shots. So she is going to be very good. Francesca Williams, Fumi Fadoju as well, and Beth Cobden. They want to match up, of course. And Louise Pearson there, the goal attack for England. Our player to watch for that team. She did well yesterday as well, shooting at 86%, 18 of her 21 attempts. And she's definitely going to be the person who feeds that ball to Sheen. She did well in not only feeding those balls and shooting when she had to, but creating a space between the Jamaican defense, leaving Sheen all alone to get that ball.
Yes, and Louis started a bit slow yesterday. Jodie Ann Ward came out like a firecracker early in that game, and she had about 2 or 3 intercepts in that first quarter. But Louis, as she does, she quietly went about her business and slowly built into the game and had an awesome game in the end.
Well, they're playing for the Rowan Hornsby Trophy, the inaugural Horizon Series, the first of a 4-year cycle. England gets us underway. They went down 4-0 yesterday in that crucial third game, and they were hoping that they could get their first shot on, but already the Sunshine Girls are commanding.
As they started yesterday, they start the game again with a gain. Hopefully they can take this one to goal. The Sunshine Girls build beautiful pressure there through the work of all 7 players, and it was Shamira Sterling Humphrey who came up with a stunning rebound.
The Sunshine Girls have early possession. They want to make use of this one. Remember, Aiken-George, she should get her first shot off here. Of course, that will be called that penalty obstruction. And yeah, Romelda, she yesterday had a pretty slow start as well, but she only missed 4 of her 34 shots, ending with 88% she shot. Her best game so far of this series. There's the first goal in the game going to the Sunshine Girls, as it did in game 3.
Yes, and you saw a goal assist there from Shamira Sterling Humphrey. She's an awesome defender, but she's also an exceptional attacker. She came down on the transverse line and she fed that ball into Romelda, and the crowd loved it.
Romelda missing her first shot, missing the chance for Jamaica to go 2-0 up on their center pass. How important is it, Kurt, to make sure that you take care of your center pass and get the point, the goal, off of your center pass?
Extremely important, because netball is a game where you get equal center passes, so it's important that you secure yours, because at the end of the day, if both teams secure theirs, the game will end in a draw. So it's important that you first secure yours and then try to get a stop on the opponent's center pass in order to get an advantage.
So 1-1 the score so far as we are into the 3rd minute of this game.
Yesterday, the teams had equal amount of gains, as you heard Jess Telby mention earlier in the interview. They had equal amount of gains, but Jamaica was the team that was able to capitalize more on the gains, and that saw them winning the game.
Yeah, by 1 goal. That's a good shot there by Louise Pearson, her first goal of the game as well.
That would definitely set some nerves for her.
Yeah, she didn't shoot badly yesterday, and this is what the Sunshine Girls will need to build on. They were really good yesterday in Game 3 at taking care of the ball and not rushing, but they'll have to do more of that against this England Roses team who is out for blood.
We're on home soil, I'm sure. Pride is on the line. The Sunshine Girls will need to start good here. They have started the quarters really well so far throughout the series and faded away in the last half. So they want to start well and try to maintain as much as possible.
Yeah, they've been particularly good in the first quarter. Yesterday, remember, they went up 2 goals in the first quarter. At the end of it, they were 12-10 leading by 2 goals, extended that lead to 3 in the second quarter, and now they're trailing here 3-1. Well, 4-1.
Yeah, and the England Roses are flying through the court at the moment in attack. They're looking really good and confident. The Jamaicans will want to slow them down early. Start that pressure from up the court. Put doubt in the feeds.
And of course, try to get on top of them and get those turnovers. Sterling called for a contact. And it is going to be important for both of these teams to take care of their passes, take care of their ball, their possessions. Liv Sheen, she's not going to miss many. We already saw her miss 1, but I'm sure she's not going to give the Sunshine Girls much of an opportunity.
Good shot down there on the center pass. There was a 2v1 on the center pass, and Beth Cobden and Imogen Allison, they combined really well to ensure that Khadijah Williams couldn't get the first space on the center pass. Francesca Williams with a block on Romella Aiken, who is towering over her.
Aiken George brings the lead down to 2. Of course, that's her second goal of the game. The first one shot by Shanice Beckford, who was exceptional yesterday. Liv Sheen, though, remarkable so far. 96%, just missing 1 shot of the 27 she took in Game 3. Very crucial, especially following up from Helen Housby. That one goes off. Ronaldo Aiken George, the umpire says. But Helen Housby, of course, she was perfect from her 5. Took a hit after running into Shamira Sterling Humphrey in the circle. No fault of Shamira's. Of course, it was a slippery court, and she fell, hitting Shamira, having to go down, left the court, was not able to return, and not able to start here today. But Liv Sheen following up, the big shoes to fill, and perfect so far almost for this English Roses team.
Yeah, Liv Sheen, she's so reliable, and she's having the better of Katie Handiani. Oh, Shamira Sterling Humphrey with a block. Unlucky to be called there by the umpire. But the England Roses, they're quite confident, and you know, they'll be happy with this 4-goal lead early in the quarter, because Jamaica are usually dominant in the first quarter.
And that's what Jess Thirlby, the Roses coach, would have spoken about at the end of Game 3 on Monday and going into this game. Taking care of the ball in the first quarter is what she really wanted her team to do. She thought the early errors is what made them trail for the entire game. She did make a valid point that being on the heel of a team throughout the game is much harder to do in netball than being up front.
Yeah, definitely, and it's hard to come back sometimes, especially when you're on foreign grounds and the home crowd is behind their team. It's really hard to come back from a deficit. The Jamaica took a more calculated route to goal in the earlier play. Let's see what they do here.
This is good stuff from the England Roses. They have a 5-goal lead. Khadijah Williams now featuring into Ronaldo Aiken George, and she lands that one. So the lead is cut narrowly down to just 4. The crowd, of course, was they played a really crucial role, and we see an early change here. It looks as if Jodie Ann Ward is going to come in, also to Rhea Dixon. So Coach Sacha Gay Henry is not allowing any room for England to get a run away. So Jodie Ann Ward, who started in Game 3, is back. So too Rhea Dixon at the main attack.
And I mean, no surprises there. Jamaica they have been contesting this series on the back of some brilliant defensive work from the partnership of Jody and Ward and Shamira Sterling, and right away she's in the action.
Making an impact as early as possible is Jody and Ward. And it was a little bit surprising to me, at least, and I'm sure to many of those watching, the decision from Sasha Gay Henry to go with Katie and Dehaney to start instead of Jody and Ward, when cushioning is important and getting a good lead here, as England have done.
And Fiume Fadojo has joined the party. She's a danger woman. That's her first deflection for the game. I'm sure we will see a few more before the end.
Halfway stage of this first quarter. The most both of these teams have scored in the first quarter, 13 in game number 2. Ronaldo Aiken-George landing another.
The Jamaicans are staying in touch here, but they need to come up with some ball at the moment. They're working hard in defense. You can see already a shift in the defense, and right on cue, Shamira Sterling Humphrey.
Oh no, and it goes right back to England. Jamaica, of course, would want to take more care of their passes. The decision there, Shamira was rushed a bit because, of course, she was falling out of bounds. Liv Sheen, once she gets that ball, though, she should not miss many, and she does well to get back the rebound.
And like they did yesterday in the first quarter, Jamaica were unable to capitalize on the turnovers. In that first quarter, they had 10 gains and they only managed to score 7. That's 70%. They'll want to improve that here if they are to take the series.
So breaking call, and it would advance the play, breaking the past the traverse line before the whistle is blown. And Rhea Dixon was calling for that one without trying to give away where she was standing. And Shanice Beckford lands that one comfortably. The lead cut back down now to just 4.
And that was a beautiful front cut into the circle by Shanice. But I thought that earlier both defenders were in the circle and Aiken-George. When that happens, she needs to get in earlier and ensure that she pulls a defender to leave the one-on-one with Aiken-George, because on a one-on-one contest, Aiken-George 9 times out of 10 will come out best.
And that was good stuff there by Latanya Wilson, forcing the turnover. And immediately now with this combination at the back again, Jamaica is able to capitalize on that and get some more defensive stops. Not saying anything bad about Katie and Dehaney, it's just a chemistry between Jody and Ward, Shamira Sterling Humphrey, and of course Latanya Wilson is very, very up there.
And kudos to Katie. She came in a high-intensity decider game, and it was always going to be difficult to have an impact. But let's spare a moment to talk about Fiume Fadojo. She's been having the series of her career so far. She's such an elusive player.
Yeah.
You never really see where she's coming from. She appears out of nowhere.
And the turnover there by England, unforced error really, because there was not much need for that. But of course, she was trying to find Allison, who was wide alone, and trying to play that triangle into Sheen, who wasn't there. But yeah, just to build up on your comment, of course, Fadojo, she did win the player of the game in game 2. She was absolutely tremendous all over Romelda Aiken-George, forcing Romelda to miss a few shots, forcing her to not be comfortable in shooting. And that's crazy because Romelda is about 2 feet above her.
There she is again. Unlucky not to gather that one, but Fiume Fadojo is in the contest, and looking at her and Shanice Beckford on her screen, they're 2 exceptional athletes going head to head, and whoever wins this battle between the both of them, I think their team will come out the victor today.
Play advance from England. There's Jess Thurby on your left, the left of the screen. Played for England Roses between 2000 and 2006. She's just 45 years old, you know. So she could have played a lot more if she wanted to. Started coaching immediately after retiring.
That one was squeezed in between a Jamaican sandwich. Liv Sheen stood between the 2 Jamaicans, and that one was just popped into her.
Yeah, 11 of 12 she shot so far. She could get 12 of 13 here.
And there's Imogen Allison. She was quiet yesterday, but she has had a really good start.
And the Sunshine Girls kind of struggling here at the moment, but they're trying to get their defense together. Abigail Sutherland with a touch on that one. And I think she's called for the offside, or no, it goes outside. So yeah, she is called offside. Landing inside the circle, the center.
And the story of the series so far for both teams is that they have been unable to convert the turnovers. Both teams have had a significant amount of turnovers per game, but they are unable to convert it because both defensive units are so connected and so strong. So it's really about who will be able to capitalize this game. So far, the Roses are in the lead, and they seem to be in control.
Sheen again, so good this series.
She is unfazed. Look at her face.
She's just 24 years old, plays her profession of netball in
And there
England.
she is again. Fiume Fadojo. She's here for the decider. She is here to silence this Jamaican crowd.
She's doing a good job so far because not much of the support coming, but we can hear the pot covers. Speaking of the crowd, in the crowd, see two of the People's National Party's members here, starting with the opposition leader, of course, Mark Golden. He's here, so too Dayton Campbell. There they are. So they left Parliament early just to come and support the Sunshine Girls. It is political season, so who knows what they're here for. Of course, supporting the Sunshine Girls is paramount. Aiken George collects this one on the inside. She should put it away. No. Contact called, luckily.
It's so loud here in the arena. The umpires are making calls and we are not able to hear them.
There's the Prime Minister, Andrew Holness, in the center of that sandwich there, between President of the Netball Jamaica Board.
Good afternoon, sir. Welcome.
Trisha Robinson, and as well to his left, the Minister of Sports, the Honorable Babsy Grange. So yeah, both parties are out here tonight. Parliament ending early so that they can come and support the Sunshine Girls.
Definitely. And since the inclusion of Jody and Ward in this game, the defensive pressure of Jamaica have gone up a notch, and the crowd are having a treat. Patience now to ensure that they score this turnover. Good reset there by Abigail Sutherland to find Beckford under the post.
Brilliant play there. Give and go. Beckford, a rare miss for her.
A rare miss for Beckford. Cleaned up by Fiume Fadojo. Who else? Who else?
Still 20 seconds to go. Clock goes down to 14 seconds. So England with a slight lead. They lead 15-10. After that goal, Romelda Aiken not able to stretch and get that one. Last 5 seconds on the clock. They won't probably be able to shoot, Jamaica.
It will be a penalty shot after the buzzer. And we saw Shanice Beckford score this to equalize the game in game 1 and win the game on the back of a shot in game 3. And just have, as she has been doing, another buzzer shot.
So yeah, first quarter is done and dusted. 15-11 in favor of the England Roses. World number 2 they are. World number 4, Jamaica Sunshine Girls. They have some work to do. At this point, in game 3 on Monday, they were leading by 2 goals, 12-10. This time they have to come 4 goals down to try and at least tie things up. Well, the crowd seem a little bit jolted by that. I'm sure they are. They don't seem too worried though, especially the Prime Minister. He's smiling.
No, he looks quite confident in our Sunshine Girls.
There's confirmation of the score, 15-11 in favor of England at the end of this first quarter. Your comments, Kurt?
Yeah, it's a very good start by England. I think this is the highest first quarter score by them all series. So they have come out to play. They know they are in a foreign land, and they know the Jamaican crowd will be behind the Sunshine Girls. So it's important that they get a good start here. It's important that they keep their composure, keep calm under the pressure. Jamaica, though, they have pride to play for. It's a big rivalry between Jamaica and England, so they need to get going here.
Yeah, we're getting ready to look at the highlights now of this one in this first quarter. All started with England, of course, getting a good start. They were up 4 goals to 0 before Jamaica was able to get their first shot off. Liv Sheen, she has been tremendous all series, but particularly in this game, just missing 1 shot so far. Louise Pearson, of course, getting them on the board as well. Our player to watch, Beckford, did answer back first for the Sunshine Girls, and then it was pretty much all England from there. There was, of course, a change in the starting defensively for Jamaica Sunshine Girls. Katie Adehaney started at the goalkeeper position as Shamira Sterling-Humphrey went out to goal defense. It didn't prove to work as well as Sasha Gay Henry would have wanted it to, but she did make a change early. 2 changes, rather, having Dixon come on. That's Rhea Dixon for Khadija Williams at the wing attack, and also Jodie Ann Ward back at that goal defensive position. But it wasn't enough to stop England from really getting control of this first quarter.
Yeah, England, they're just maintaining their composure. They're keeping focus on the task. I'm sure they have a glance over at the trophy and would really like to take that back to them on the 9-hour flight to England. So it's good to see them come out and play strong. The Sunshine Girls will need to respond at the start of the second quarter, because if they allow the Roses to get too far ahead, it will be a hard task to reel it back, especially with the form of Liv Sheen and Fumi Faduju.
They are playing, of course, for the Roan Hornsby Trophy. First trophy in this, well, the inaugural Horizon Series. First of a cycle of 4 years. Of course, the series tied at 1-1. That trophy named after Molly Roan, a stalwart in Jamaican netball, a long-standing member of the Netball Jamaica fraternity, as well as a former Sunshine Girl herself. Of course, Jean Hornsby, first black woman to play netball at the highest level for the England Roses. So a trophy in honor of them going to the winner of this series that is currently tied at 1 apiece. Almost ready for the start of the second quarter. The fans, of course, don't look very impressed with what's going on thus far. They'll be hoping that the girls, Sunshine Girls, can improve in this second quarter. England, though, they'll be satisfied. They'll want more, though, because they did have opportunities to even stretch this lead further. But I'm sure that Coach Jess Thirlby is much more pleased than she was on Monday.
I think so. And just looking at them on court, they look hungry. They are without their superwoman in Helen Houseby today, and they have just notched up their strongest quarter, Jodie Ann Ward. She has come to the party. Sasha Gay Henry, do not start me on the bench again. That's what she just said.
Yeah, and the Jamaica Sunshine Girls have really been the best in the first quarter. 13, of course, they got in game number 2. It was tied at that in the end, but
so in yesterday's game, those deflections by the Jamaican players, they would have been cleaned up by a yellow dress. Today, not so much so far in this game. And Captain Francesca, she just joined the party with a beautiful intercept of Aiken George. That ball was never going to reach.
The Roses have possession, trying to find Liv Sheen, who I'm sure is going to shoot this one. She has been almost perfect, missing just 1 shot so far this game. And it would stay the circle pass with England. They lead by 6. That's a good touch there by Jodie Ann Ward, and she comes away with it. Now it's called back. Contact called on Ward.
A fraction late there, Jodie Ann Ward. It was the right idea, but just a footstep behind.
We haven't seen that brilliance that we saw yet from Shamira Sterling, who was the player of the game yesterday, the Sunshine Girls captain. We haven't seen it just as yet. We did see a glimpse of it with a steal and the interception that she made in the first quarter. Since then, not much help.
Well, there she is. She heard you, and that's a strong rebound by her. She will need to have a big game today in order to keep the Jamaicans in this game. So far,
again, giving it right away. But luckily, Ward was caught. She gets back.
That is the story of this series so far. The Sunshine Girls must find a way to score their turnovers.
Dixon finds Aiken George. Here's Bedford. Dixon does well to call for it on the edge of the circle. Bedford, this is her comfort zone. Ronaldo Aiken George cleans up the rebound, and she should put it away. She does. Lead it back down to 5.
Unusual to see the Sunshine Girls miss so much so early in the game. They shot at 83% yesterday as a team.
Yeah, but even with that stat, that fact, as we see Ronaldo Aiken George take a shot here, they were outshot
Yes, they were.
Percentage-wise by the England Roses. Helen Housby, she had a shooting percentage of 100%. 86% Louise Pearson, and Sheen had 96%. So they didn't miss much shots compared to the Sunshine Girls, who Romelda Aiken-George had 88%, Shanice Beckford 83%, and Dixon, the two shots she took, she only scored one at 50. So they were better defensively, the Sunshine Girls, which made it comfortable enough for their shooters, even though they missed a few shots, to still win the game.
Definitely, but to see them miss so early in the game, because the missed shots came across all 4 quarters yesterday, but they have already gone 3 in the first half. So that's an area that they could look to improve on. And yesterday, they would have rebounded all but one of the missed shots. They have only had 1 rebound so far this encounter, so that's an area they want. Yes, so that's an area they need to tidy up on.
Well, you'll see if they heard you, Kurt.
Well, that's definitely a held ball. And Jodianne Ward jumping in the air, waving. She's happy about that one. As a defender, it's one of the sweetest things when you have worked so hard. You'd have trained combinations and situations where you'd want to shut down to get a held ball. So when it's paid off, it's a really good feeling.
Aiken-George, and we did mention that Shanice Beckford was brilliant at creating that space for Romelda Aiken-George inside the circle. She was coming around on the back line, and Fudoju was trying to pick her up, leaving Romelda Aiken that bit of space behind her. And yeah, Sutherland did well to find Aiken-George, who should score another here, cutting the lead down to just 2.
That was a statement shot from Aiken-George. We would usually say out of her range because we haven't seen her shoot much from that distance, but that shows how much this game means to her. She wants to win here for her team, and to make a decision to go for that shot when you're down, that's brave, and that bravery is needed by the Sunshine Girls if they're to win this game today.
Yeah, well, they've done well in cutting that 5-goal lead, of course, that 4-goal lead to 2, and then the England Roses taking it back up to 3. Nice ball inside for Romelda Aiken-George. She's a bit closer now, and she scores that one. That's her range, that's her comfort zone.
That's her sweet spot. But quick feed in there from Rhea Dixon. She caught the English defenders napping. And again!
Brilliant touch by Jodianne Ward. Shamira Sterling is saying that she did get a touch on it, Sheen, but umpire says no, and they stay with the possession, do the England Roses. But Jodianne Ward, of course, being extreme from the moment she came on, very much influential on this game defensively.
Yes, her impact has been impeccable so far this game. Really strong athlete, Jodianne Ward. She's fast, she's fit, she's strong, and she's really making it hard for Louise Pearson. But yesterday we saw Louise improve as the game went on. So it will be interesting to see how she maintains this sort of intensity with Jodianne Ward on her like a backpack going forward.
Lead cut to just 2 now. 8 minutes left, just over, in this first half.
Stifling defense by the Jamaicans, but the English girls are trying to be patient. They are taking the extra pass, but Shamira Sterling with the spoils. It stays in with the red dress though.
Yeah, Sterling wasn't able to keep that one in, but England, as they do so well, finding a way around the defense. That's a real miss from Liv Sheen, and the Jamaicans now have to try to capitalize on it.
Rear miss by Miss Consistent Liv Sheen. And that was almost a gimme.
Yeah, she doesn't really seem too pleased about that, even though she's mostly unfazed. Beckford, not sure why Romelda didn't turn and face the goal, as you were talking about, Kurt, which you said you would have wanted to see more of that from her. She did hear you for the most part of the 3rd game. But yeah, Beckford with the shot, cutting in now to 1, and Jamaica have the center pass. They'll have to try to make the most of this one.
Jamaicans with a chance to level.
And they do it. Shanice Beckford again. The lady bringing them level. Well, What a game we have in our hands now. England Roses right back square with the Sunshine Girls. They did have a really good lead going into the end of the first quarter. A 4-goal lead actually occurred now. It's level again.
A hand in there from Sterling. Jodian Ward went hunting, but easy pickings for the Roses, who were very patient. The crowd was so loud in the arena just now, shouting defense. It would have been terrifying for the England Roses, but they were patient, they were smart, and they took care of business.
Aiken George now finding Sutherland, who would try to find a pass. She does so to Beckford. Beckford, that one is knocked away. She wasn't able to do what she could. Fran Williams knocking that one out of Jodian Ward's hand.
Beautiful give and go there by Abigail Sutherland, but Francesca Williams, the Roses captain, spoiled the party, but Shamira Sterling with another rebound. What is happening, Gerard?
Not sure.
That's 2 back-to-back misses from Liv Sheen.
And she's definitely not satisfied with that. She's kicking herself, Liv Sheen.
It took us 2 games to see her miss 2 shots, and now she has missed twice in a row.
Absolutely. Aiken George grabbing that one and turning directly to the pole in the air, and she lands it all square again. 21-21. Just over 5 minutes left in this quarter.
We haven't mentioned Rhea Dixon, but her injection in this game has also been really good. Her quick feeds into Romella Aiken-George, followed with her strong second phase drives, have been really good, opening up that attacking end for the Jamaicans.
And we almost saw a steal there by Shanice Beckford. There's Sasha Gay Henry on the left of your screen, the Sunshine Girls coach. She, of course, with a lot on her mind. She wants to win, of course. She played for the Sunshine Girls up until 2014, coached 2018 when the Sunshine Girls won bronze in the Commonwealth Games, and then came back here in Kingston after that, after losing the semi-finals 56-55 to the England Roses, coming back here in Kingston August of that year and administering a 3-0 whitewash in that series, sending them back to London.
And that's a strong rivalry between these two teams. They have been going on and on. Big ball into Aiken-George.
And a nice pass to Beckford to finish it off.
Fumi Fadoja had a good look at that one, but Aiken-George too strong and too tall.
Breaking call, play advance now for England. England ranked number 2 in the world.
Gerald, I feel the game is in the balance here, and I feel the first team that will be able to get a hold of this and get a run of 2 or 3 goals will be in good stand come the second half.
Yeah, good point. And we do know, though, that the Sunshine Girls held the lead by 3 goals at the end of the second quarter in Game 3.
Another missed shot by the Jamaican.
But they get it back to another Aiken-George. A point to note, though, Kurt, that this series, the Sunshine Girls have not gone to the half trailing.
No, they haven't. So it will be interesting to see what happens here. I'm sure they're aware of that. And Latanya Wilson, unlucky, pleading to the umpire. No, I didn't do it. But the umpire rule will stand. That was beautiful work from Latanya. And she might have had a little body contact there, but I'm sure that will encourage her.
Yep. The first game, Sunshine Girls, they did go to the half. 2 goals down, actually. But now they're up.
Exceptional vision there from Jodian Ward. The English defense set up high in that goal third, clogging and forcing the Jamaicans to make a tough decision. But Jodian Ward was up to the task and found Romella Aiken-George under the post, who finished with style with a nice layup.
Yeah, so correction, the Sunshine Girls did go 6 goals down at halftime in the first game. Of course, that game ended 49-49 draw. They came back and they outscored England in the third half, in the second half, of course, especially in the third quarter, their best quarter of every game this series. But other than that game, that's the only one that they did go trailing at halftime. Of course, in game 2, it was 24-24 at the half. Game 3, of course, they led by 3 goals, 26-23. That was game 3 on Monday, yesterday. So they'll want to stay close to the England Roses, and the Roses will want to get a repeat of game 1.
With just under 2 minutes to go in this quarter, the Jamaicans, they looked a bit tired. As you know, they always cruise out in the end, but there was a replay call and they have gotten possession. Let's see if they can score this and capitalize on their center pass to go up by 2 goals at the half.
Yeah, they will have the center pass now, do the Sunshine Girls. Abigail Sutherland looking for a pass. England trying to stifle that midcourt. And we do know, Kurt, that the atmosphere in terms of temperature, plus fans, plus the intensity of the game, caused a lot of the England Roses girls to burn out early in game 1.
Definitely. So it will be interesting to see how this game unfolds. The Jamaicans took the lead for the first time. Yeah. Abigail Sutherland with a hand in, cleaned up by Latanya Wilson. The Jamaicans not only took the lead, but
Romelda, lovely takedown there by Romelda Aiken-George, one-handed, and she sends them up by 3. 43 seconds left on the clock, and Jamaica have a slight lead for the first time in this game.
Ideally, the Jamaicans would want to score here and force England to take a center pass that they'll try to deny. Let's see what they do with it.
Dixon trying to find a pass inside, but Fudoji again, right there again, to knock it away from Romelda Aiken-George, and England now come away with it. Oh, they have a never say die attitude, do the England Roses. That one landed to Pearson, and she misses, and Sterling gets a touch on it.
5 seconds on the clock. I'm not sure the Roses are aware of this, but they'll try to take this as quickly as possible.
Clock has run down, and time goes. So that's halftime here.
On the buzzer, and the umpires are saying it's counted.
The umpires have counted the goal, yes. Seems that way. Well, they're going to deliberate. They're going to deliberate. And it seems no final decision has been made. So they are still having a discussion at the desk here. We will try to get confirmation on if that goal has been counted. Now, Shamira Sterling-Humphrey, she is definitely, we've seen this many times from Shamira Sterling-Humphrey. I don't know if you remember, Kurt, in the Commonwealth Games in 2022, the Sunshine Girls, they got a historic silver medal. In that match against Australia that they came out as winners in the group stage, Shamira Sterling-Humphrey and Janelle Fowler, of course, with all the respect that they have in world netball, they went at halftime to the umpire, trying to get an understanding of why some calls were made against Shamira that she felt were just unfair, obstruction calls they were. And she's doing the same thing here again, standing up for herself, as we see confirmation of the halftime score here. Jamaica leading 3 goals, 28-25. And yeah, it is definitely a very good performance so far from both teams. A turnaround effort from Jamaica. They went into the quarter lead, well, trailing by 4 goals at the end of the first quarter. It came out, it seems as if England was going to build on what they had. It started with Katie Antahaney inside the circle instead of Julianne Ward, but that was swiftly changed. Counting in a few goals early on for England Roses. They did take control early on. They had a 4-goal lead at the start. But with that change came a change not only in the score, but also in the tempo for the Sunshine Girls. Dixon, she came on at the wing attack position and replacing Khadijah Williams, and she had an impact magnificently so. Shanice Beckford, she was good as well, especially in the second half. We saw Liv Sheen doing what she does best. A rare double miss from her in the second quarter, about 5 minutes left on the clock, but she has been good. Liv Sheen missing just 2 of her shots coming into this game so far, well, 3 in total. But Kurt, the Sunshine Girls were a great match so far. They did go 3 goals down at the end of the first quarter. Now they lead by 3 at the end of the first half.
Yes, good comeback from the Sunshine Girls, and as you mentioned earlier, the injection of Jodianne Ward and Rhea Dixon in the game. Jodianne brought real intensity to that defensive unit. Her speed and agility really complemented the work of Shamira Sterling and Latanya Wilson, as we know about their combination. And Rhea Dixon, she really opened the attacking third. She was available, she was feeding the circle well, and she was strong on the ball. And her connection with Aiken George, obviously it's a new combination. They wouldn't have trained together prior to Romella arriving in England a few weeks ago, but it's building, and you can see the growth in her game, and the connection is looking really good for them. For the England Roses, they have done well to stay in this game. The Fume for Doja show, as we would want to call it, she is in this game, and I think at the moment she's slightly getting the better of Shanice Beckford. She have also been all around the court, getting intercept of not her direct player, but the goal shooter and the wing attack as well. So she's in the game, and the Jamaicans will need to keep her at bay if they want to win this game.
Well, the Jamaicans outscoring England in that second quarter, 17 goals to 10, to take a firm grip on this game. They lead by 3 goals, 28-25 at the end of the first half. As we're being serenaded by the great Alain. Yeah, too bad you won't be able to hear though. We take a break now, come back and get ready for the second half.
Ajax seeks to remain unbeaten in the UEFA Europa League. They hunt their 4th win as they face Real Sociedad on match day 5, Thursday, 3 p.m., 4 p.m. ECT on SportsMax and on the SportsMax app.
People look at stories through different lenses. I have my own take on some of these trending issues. Hi, I'm Mariah Ramharak, and welcome to In Case You Missed It.
We watch for the players. We watch for the goals. We watch for the memories. And the memories last forever. We watch matches from Arsenal and Manchester City every week on SportsMax and SportsMax 2 and relive the stories, the defeats, the triumphs. Your memories live here on your home of champions and on the SportsMax app. Stay connected when you stream on the SportsMax app.
AS Monaco put their unbeaten European record on the line when they host Benfica. Who will prevail on match day 5 in the UEFA Champions League? Catch it live Wednesday, 3 p.m., 4 p.m. ECT on SportsMax 2 and on the SportsMax app.
Welcome back to the National Indoor Sports Center here in Kingston, Jamaica, where we're getting ready for the second half of this one. Well, Jamaica, they lead England 28-26 by 2 goals. Of course, it did count that goal at the end there by by Louise Pearson. That did count at the end of the first half. And yeah, of course, we know that this is game number 4, the series decider of this Horizon Netball series between these two teams, locked at 1 apiece after 3 games following that draw in the first encounter. And yeah, we are going to get ready, of course, almost very set for the second half, the third quarter. Jamaica, they did tremendous work to come from behind at the end of the first quarter to end the first half leading by these 2 goals, outscoring England 17 goals to 11 in the second quarter. So great work, Kurt, by the Sunshine Girls after a blistering start from the England Roses.
Yeah, definitely some good work. And those gains came on the back of some defensive rebounds, some unusual miss from Liv Sheen, and they were cleaned up by Shamira Sterling-Humphrey. But that's what the pressure does. That's the pressure of the persons outside of the circle, making it difficult for the feed to get into Sheen. And sometimes when it takes a little bit longer than usual to get in, it's a little bit harder to shoot. But like she did yesterday, the Razia Kwashi on with immediate impact.
Yeah, Kwashi there coming in. She's replacing Francesca Williams. Kwashi. England still trying to find a way around this Sunshine Girls defense. Very strong defense it is, but Liv Sheen, she's got the ball in a position where she's most comfortable. And yeah, you did mention that we saw those rare misses from Sheen. She missed 3 so far in this game. Up until this game 4, she had only missed 2 shots all series.
That's remarkable. That's exceptional shooting. I'm looking down the court. Razia Kwashi again. I'm looking down the court, and England, they have brought on a new center, Amy Carter. She plays for the Manchester Thunder in England. She's a good, strong, attacking and defensive center. She should add some spark to their midcourt.
Well, Ronaldo giving them a goal there. England will have control of the ball. Just 2 minutes in, minute and a half in rather, for this second half, and Jamaicans have done well so far to maintain their lead. Of course, this is their best quarter, England, so Jamaica will want to stave them off.
Yes, and Jamaica will need to just weather the storm here. It's a good balanced start from both teams so far. The England Roses applying great defensive pressure here. Just look at them stack and cut all the ball side options. The Jamaicans, they'll need to look long into Aiken George.
That's a beautiful pass there by Abigail Sutherland. And Ronaldo Aiken George puts that one away.
And the height of Aiken George is really the strength of the Jamaicans. So when they can do that, that really will benefit the team. So you want to be disciplined and you want to play it short at times. But when that big ball is on, it's absolutely okay for them to go for it.
That's a good touch there by Jodian Ward, but I think she did just enough to keep it in, but fall into a red dress. And Liv Sheen will put that one away. So good effort.
That was a replica of one she took yesterday as well. Unlucky, but as I said yesterday, those were fall into a yellow dress. Today, not so much. So this game is really in the balance, and it could be anyone game come 60 minutes.
Ronaldo does well so far she does well to keep possession of the ball. Trying to draw the contact, which she did. And now she moves her tally so far, 18. Yeah, of 20 shots. 18 of 20 attempts. Another Aiken-George, so she's only missed 2 this game.
The Roses won the second half yesterday. That's something both teams will be mindful of.
And that one goes out, and umpire.
The Jamaicans continue to work overtime in defense. Another held ball.
Held ball, yeah, held ball called instead. Dixon back to Sterling. Sterling now looking for a pass, and she finds Tanya Wilson as they try to float up the court, the Jamaicans. Almost letting go of that one too late, Sutherland, but Bedford does well, and she scores that one.
And it was really important for them to convert that one. Let's see if they can back it up with a center pass. Rosie Akwashu with a fly.
Oh, straight into the arms of Fudoju.
And that's what usually happens in netball. One person goes for a fly, you do not get it, but the intimidation factor, the pass that comes after, usually isn't as accurate, and then another player cleans up. And who else? Fumi Fudoju was there on the money.
England now have the center pass after scoring, so they can pull this lead to just 1. Sterling will have to try her best to keep Sheen out of that circle. But the contact is called, so Mel Sterling was able to draw the contact off Sheen. Wow, probably would have been the slightest of touches, but she sold that one perfectly, Shamir Sterling.
She did. I know she's in school. I know she's in uni. I'm not sure if it's Edna Manley or UWI, or University of the West Indies, but she did a good job selling that one. But earlier, before that contact, Lewis Pearson actually made a contact on Jodian Ward that caused her to lose her footing a bit, and I think Shamira saw that and said, okay.
Yeah, it's time to draw some fouls, some penalties. So, for those who don't know, that reference that Kurt made about Edna Manley College is actually because that's a school of arts here, university where most artists go to in Jamaica. So yes, I don't think she goes to Edna.
And we continue to have a tennis match here at the indoor center. We came for a netball match, but the ball has been going up and down for about a minute now.
Yeah, no goals in a minute.
And that has been the story of the series so far.
About how close it has been between these two teams. Aiken, George. And I think they're going to call for a timeout here.
And as I mentioned earlier, I saw the contact from Lewis on Jodian Ward, and I saw that she landed awkwardly, and she went down, and she's calling time now. She's looking in a bit of discomfort.
Yeah, Zaudi Green is going to make
Yes, she's going to make her debut. First cap here for Zaudi Green. She played for Jamaica at Fast 5 recently, but this is her first test cap. She has a lot of fans in the crowd, a custodian. The crowd happy to see her on, and hoping she does well here.
Well, she has a big pair of shoes to fill because she's replacing Latanya Wilson at that wing defensive position. So I'm sure she's up for it, though. She's a really good player here, Zaudi Green. I've seen her at the Elite League level, and she commands the game just as much, commands that authority in the defensive position, that defensive third, and she's very frisky along those lines.
Yes, she will have her work cut out against her, against a very fast, fit, and smart Jess Shaw.
And that one going in for Liv Sheen once again. Into Romelda Aiken-George. She's looking for a pass, goes back to Green. They're forced to go back to Dixon. Sutherland was trying to find space, but no need for that because Romelda Aiken-George has been found. And the lead now goes up to 4. Yeah, 20 of 23 shots now she's taken.
Pinpoint accurate pass there into Aiken-George. Fumi Fudoju had her fingernails on it, but they weren't quite as long. Unfortunately, the netball rules require you to cut your fingernails.
Sterling Humphrey all over Sheen now, trying to... We don't really see her flustered, Sheen, but she seems to be a little bit taken aback because of Sterling's aggression in that circle. So, yes, she may not show it, but we can feel it, we can sense it.
Yes, definitely. She looked a bit rattled for the first time this series.
Good passing by Sutherland to Aiken George right under the pole. And she scores this one comfortably. Lead now goes up to 4. 6 minutes over left on the clock in this quarter.
And I think Liv is still doing a really good job, but she's just not as accurate and demanding as she was before. The crowd calling for an offside call there, but the umpire deemed it a contact first.
Trying to get that ball inside the circle now are the England Roses. Of course, the contact now called on Zawdi Green.
I watched Zawdi Green in isolation just there in that passage of play, and she was all over Jess Shaw. I expected Jess Shaw to be getting the better of her at this time, given her experience, but Zawdi Green.
Yeah.
Welcome to international netball.
So Latanya Wilson has gone into the circle. Coming off is Jodianne Ward. And this is the first time we're seeing Latanya play at the goal defense position this series. Of course, she's played all the games at the wing defense position. So it seems as if Jodianne has picked up some kind of injury, or she may be tired. We confirm that as Ronaldo Aiken-George looks to push the score back up with 4.
I can see Jodianne on the physio bench. She's getting some treatment on what looks to be her right ankle. But Shamira Sterling and Latanya, they would have had some game time together. They played a bit of netball when they were in Manchester, but they had developed a combination from their time together, the Adelaide Thunderbird. This is a combination that Tanya Ops plays sometime over there, so it wouldn't be foreign territory for them. So let's see how they go there.
Well, we don't know that this is the best defensive combination in, might I say, world netball. I'll go as far as saying that. We know it in Australia at least.
Yes, show Matilda Garrett, shout out to her in Australia. She's probably watching her teammates, Shamira and Latanya here. Throw her in the mix and they have a really solid defensive unit. But when you get to Jamaica and you put a Jodianne Ward, who is an exceptional athlete in her own right, in the mix with these two incredible Thunderbirds, we have an equally just impressive defensive unit.
Yeah. Ward also plays her netball professionally in Australia, the Suncorp Super Netball League. She plays for the Giants. Liv Sheen does well to back that at the edge of the circle. Amy Carter there trying to get around and trying to find a pass. They're trying to force the help ball here. Sheen is on the back all by her lonesome. Well done there by Pearson to draw both Wilson and Sterling Humphrey. And Sheen, 28 of 33. My, we have seen her miss 5 shots, which is quite rare.
And while that was exceptional defense from the Jamaican defenders, it was equally good attacking work from the England Roses. They were patient. Imagine a Latanya Wilson and Shamira Sterling all over you as a feeder with the ball, looking in the circle. It would have been heart-wrenching, but they held their composure and they ensured that they delivered a safe pass that was finished off by the shooter.
Well, as they know how to do, the English Roses team drawing, pulling back, bringing them forward, or bringing themselves forward, and cutting that lead down to just 1. 37-36 now the ball with the Sunshine Girls, so they can at least take a step once they take care of this possession back up to at least a 2-goal lead.
Absolutely, and we expected this. This is their best quarter. We expected them to come back. So far, they're leading the quarter. And as I said earlier, the Jamaicans just need to weather the storm here. If they are to win the game, they need to stay in touch here or stay ahead. And even though the Roses won that last quarter yesterday, the Jamaicans were right there with them.
That third quarter ended 12-12, so they were even at the end of that quarter. So far, the Roses have scored 10.
Another hand in there by Zawdi Green. Yeah. She's really making an impression here in this game.
So the Roses have scored 10 this quarter, 11 now, and the Sunshine Girls also 11. So again, we're even in this third quarter, just like we were on Monday in game 3. Aiken George with a chance to go ahead. 39-37 the score. And it seems as if Ward is all patched up, all taped up.
And to the delight of the crowd,
yeah,
Jodian Ward is back on court.
Replacing
I feel for
Green.
Zodi Green because she really came on and she really had good impact. But Coach Sasha Gay Henry and Rob Wright, they would want the experience of Jodian Ward. She's a game changer. And right on cue,
wow,
Jodian Ward take a bow. She is putting out the MVP performance here tonight, Jodian Ward.
Time is held here. Time is held at 2 minutes 23 seconds. So still have a lot to play. Sutherland trying to find a feed to Aiken George. Kwashi did get a touch on that one, but it did land in the hands of Aiken George. She'll get it back now. Yeah, she gets it back and she does well. Converted. Now the score 40-37 in favor of the Sunshine Girls.
All right, so this is where the Sunshine Girls really need to take a breath. They need to score this one. They have struggled to score 2 in a row so far in this game, and it is really important for them in the scheme of things to ensure that they score this one.
Yeah, Aiken George towering over Kwashi, and she was able to pull that one down, got the contact as well.
Fuming for Dojo almost had a say in that one, but Romelda Aiken George, so strong, so reliable, so consistent.
And Beckford, equally as reliable, scoring that one.
A 4-goal lead to the Jamaicans, and the defensive pressure up court. The crowd is chanting defense, defense. The Roses are patient. The Roses they know what are at stake here. Good opening across the court from Shaw to Allison. Sheen not confident to take that shot.
Not at all, Sheen. So she had to pass it out, and Sterling was right there with her. So she, even though it was a good defensive effort from Sterling, Sheen right there with her and was able, of course, to land the shot eventually.
30 seconds on the clock. Again, the Jamaica will want to score this and get it back to England and deny them a center pass.
And now the Aiken George getting a shot off, but the
they'll need to get the ball
called.
back. Smart work from Imogen Allison to delay the pass.
Yeah, time is held at 13 seconds. So they go now. Beckford again. That's her sweet spot. Anything away.
6 seconds.
Yeah.
Shamira Sterling.
Sterling does well.
Intercept.
Gives it right back though to the England Roses. Sterling again trying to get a big, but that shot will not count. No, the goal is allowed. The goal is actually allowed. The goal is allowed. Umpire
Is it allowed?
Says, yeah, umpire says the shot went off before the buzzer. So, the fans here in Kingston not liking that. But what I will say is that they will like the fact that the Sunshine Girls are still leading. 42-38. They have a 4-goal advantage heading into the final quarter. That is a good advantage to have, Kurt.
It's actually a 3-goal because with that goal being allowed, after the buzzer, the Jamaicans lead by 3 goals heading into the last quarter. The crowd is definitely not happy with that one, and it almost felt like a repeat of what happened in the second quarter. At the end, the buzzer went and the goal came after the buzzer.
Yeah.
Not sure what's happening with the clock and the umpire's watch, but the Sunshine Girls are not happy with it, but they need to keep their composure. They need to stay in control of what they can, which is how they play on court, how they perform on court. The Roses, as I said earlier, they won the second half yesterday, so they won't be rattled by this lead up by Sunshine Girls. They'll be confident that 3 goals is really just a turnover, so they can come back from 3 goals down easily. So they'll be regrouping, looking what they can do to come out stronger.
Yeah, so the third quarter, of course, Jamaica Sunshine Girls 42-39. They lead over England Roses. And yeah, let's take a look at the highlights so far up until this point. They came into this quarter leading 28-26 to the Sunshine Girls, and they did get a bit of a slow start, if you would please. This quarter, they did end up outscoring England by 1 goal, 14-13, which they were able to peg back a bit. 42-39 it ended, of course, but it was about Liv Sheen. We did see her miss a couple of shots in the second quarter, but she was phenomenal. Romelda Aiken-George too, though, and Shanice Beckford were able to answer back as fluid as possible, as many times as they were able to. But Liv Sheen, she did what she does best and was able to get those balls, collect them, create space for herself, create space through Louise Pearson, and land those shots. The mid-court battle, though, Kurt, was really intense for both of these teams, so we didn't really think that, well, either one of them were trying to let up as easy as you would hope, as either of the teams would hope. But yeah, the Jamaica Sunshine Girls, they were phenomenal to do well enough to outscore England in this quarter.
Yeah, definitely, and that will give them confidence. They haven't been super strong in the third quarter, but that was a good, solid third quarter for them, especially in the dying half of that quarter. They came really good. For the first half, it was balanced, but they came strong in the last half. And kudos to Abigail Sutherland. Last match, she was being rotated with Crystal Plummer, but so far this game, she has been the one out there for majority of this game, and we have seen England change at center position. So obviously what she's doing is disrupting their flow in attack. So good to see her out there dominating and really representing for herself.
Romelda Aiken-George has missed 5 shots this game so far. There's the Prime Minister looking on with the Minister of Sports, Olivia Babsy-Grange. Glad to see her out. She was ill a couple months ago, but she seems to have fully recovered and back to work and here supporting the Sunshine Girls, both of them members of the Jamaica Labour Party here in Jamaica. But yeah, back to the game, Kurt. Romelda and Shanice have been good. There's the opposition leader, Mark Golden, the political leader of the People's National Party. And yeah.
And sitting with him is the Honorable Molly Roll, former president of not only Netball Jamaica, but also the international body.
And one half of all the trophies named after.
Yes, sir.
Not to mention she did play for the Sunshine Girls.
Yes.
Yeah. It would have been nice to see Gene Hornsby here. So we get underway in the final quarter. This is going to be very important for these teams. The score 42-39 in favor of the Sunshine Girls. Beckford has a chance to push it up to a 4-goal lead. And she does so, as she's been doing so well this game.
Yeah, Shanice Beckford, she has been owning that baseline drive so far this game.
Shots of defense coming from the fans here. The Roses doing as they do so well. Shamira Sterling allowed, doing well enough to keep that ball inside as Pearson takes a tumble, but no contact on her. I think she slipped.
And Shamira Sterling Humphrey, those spectacular intercepts that we saw yesterday, we were wondering where they were earlier in this game, but she's back.
Aiken-George does well.
Razzle dazzle from Aiken-George. That's the sort of stuff she is known for. She loved the fancy flair play, and Jamaicans love it as well.
Dixon, the English-born Dixon, playing for the Sunshine Girls, qualifying through her grandparents. She's at the wing attack position as Jamaica Sunshine Girls can now push this lead even further. A real miss for Shanice Beckford. She does well, keeps it inside, but Dixon is there to collect the pass. Great back up there from Rhea Dixon, and good swing from Jodie Ann Ward.
Yes, and now the Scraps are going to the yellow dress with less than a quarter to go. That's good sign for the Jamaicans, and they have now taken their biggest lead of this match and of the series.
A 6-goal lead.
The England Roses will try to score as quickly as possible to ensure that they have enough time on the clock to cut this deficit back. 12 and a half minutes is a lot of time in netball, so no need to panic just yet.
Absolutely. Sutherland does well to clean it up. Gives it off to Beckford. Beckford can shoot from that position, but she chooses not to. Aiken George right under the pole. She should be able to land this, and she does.
Yes, and that was a beautiful cut and drive by Abigail Sutherland. She is staying in the contest. I love the work that she's doing so far this game.
Yeah, 2 shots she's missed. Ronaldo Aiken George, 27-29 so far of her attempts. Pearson has been good, so too Sheen. And they continue to land those goals for the Roses. But here's the thing, we've seen, even though that they have been as good, we've seen the only time the series at the most crucial parts, the most misses by that combination in the circle. I'm talking about Sheen and Pearson.
Yes.
Rare for them.
And while they have missed a few shots, what I love about Louis Pearson is the play before this. Shamira Sterling Humphrey would have stopped her, but the next shot, it's as if nothing happened.
Shamira Sterling gets down that one, intercepted by her. And
Shamira really wants this one.
Aiken George left alone in the circle, right underneath, and she gets another goal. 31 attempts, she scored 29 of them so far. The lead now up to 7, and Jamaica have to take the pass.
Yes, and if they can convert it, it will put a lot of pressure on the Roses. Jamaicans are really stamping their class here, and that's what happens. They haven't played international netball for 15 months. You go to Manchester in front of a home crowd, a Manchester home crowd, and you put out a lackluster performance. But now you have gotten 2 games on your belt, and you come back home and you win the first game, and now in this last game, with all that experience on your belt, you're putting on a clinical performance.
Sheen gets a shot off. 49-42 now, with just over 10 minutes left to go in this game. Offside call on Ward.
Yes, and the Jamaicans need to be careful here. The Roses will be happy about this turnover, and they'll try to get this to goal. Almost a hell ball there.
Ward. And Wilson calls for the contact. Pearson should shoot from that distance, and she does.
She loves that area of the circle. Whenever she shoots from the top, the action on the shot is just so fluid.
Pearson trying to find a pass.
Beautiful vision from Shaw into Sheen. Yeah, and that was beautiful vision. It was just so unlucky that Sheen couldn't pull that one in.
Yeah, bad hands.
But look at them set up the defensive wall in the midcourt. The Jamaicans seem to be in a bit of a rush, but they need to settle here and ensure that they take it down safely.
Well, Dixon has the ball now. Beckford has it, trying to find George. She does. Aiken George with the shot. And the lead is back up to 7. 50-43 in favor of the Sunshine Girls.
Aiken George has been such a presence in this game. Now we're seeing them, the England Roses are making some changes.
Yeah, quite a few.
Razia Kwashe is back on at goalkeeper.
Doju coming out to the wing defensive position.
And Captain Fantastic is back in goal defense to try to add some pressure on Shanice Beckford.
So they're ringing in the changes. Jess Thurby and the England Roses. And so far, not much has changed. No immediate response from England. No immediate test of the Sunshine Girls. Ronaldo Aiken George still looks comfortable inside the circle.
No, and Jess Thurby would have been thinking that Fran Williams moving out to goal defense, her hands over pressure would interfere with the feeds going into Aiken George by Shanice Beckford. But Shanice Beckford smartly took a step back over the hands and placed a perfect ball into Aiken George.
Yeah, Sheen, who had a percentage of 96%, missing just 1 shot in game 3 on Monday. Now she's missed 5 in this game.
And
She's rare.
Fran Williams,
It seems as if Jodian Ward has gone down again with that right ankle injury. Cause for concern for the Sunshine Girls. She's limping now, Jodian Ward. And yeah, which means she's definitely going to have to come off, which means that now Latanya Wilson will have to go back into the circle. And it looks as if Crystal Plummer is going to be the one going in that wing defense position.
Unfortunate for the Jamaicans, but luckily for them, they have quite a cushion. So it will be important for them to ensure that they keep working hard in attack to ensure that they maintain this lead and leave it all out there for Jody.
Yeah. Seems she slipped Jodian Ward.
Quite a battle going on between Francesca Williams and Shanice Beckford. They would have played a lot of netball together, both playing for the West Coast Fever in Australia. Yeah. So they would have had a lot of training time against each other, so they know each other game quite a bit. And looking at them, the contest is fiery out there.
That was a big tumble there by Romelda Aiken-George, a rear tumble as well. But it just proves how intense this battle is, especially with Kwashi now in the circle.
Yeah, and it's a long way down for Aiken-George. Razia Kwashi, she loves the physical battle. And I'm sure Aiken-George, she won't shy away from it. So both teams will want to leave everything out on court in this final quarter.
Beckford to take this shot, as we usually see her taking the penalty shots as a goal attack. Yeah. Seen a bit of slippage in this quarter, same as we saw yesterday in game number 3. But just to make mention though, Kurt, the Sunshine Girls were outscored 12-14 in that final quarter on Monday. And so far they've done well. They've already scored 10 with 7 minutes left.
Yeah, this is on track to be their best quarter of the series so far. If they can maintain that same start of intensity.
Sheen collects this pass from Pearson.
Crystal Plummer replaced Latanya Wilson, who now moved into goal defense. Crystal Plummer, she's a young up-and-comer player, but she have had some experience. She went to the last World Cup with the Jamaican squad, so she's no stranger to international netball, and she will look to have some impact here.
Funny enough, the Sunshine Girls and the Roses did not meet at all in that Netball World Cup. Of course, Sunshine Girls, they had to settle for 4th after losing an intense, a very close encounter with Australia in the semi-finals. Shamira Sterling getting a touch there and it goes out.
Well, the Sunshine Girls actually finished 3rd at the last World Cup. They were 4th at the one before. Yes, they were 4th at the one before and they finished 3rd in the last. Yes. Yes.
Hard-fought battle
and that
with New Zealand.
That was a really good team that they had at the last World Cup. And it was just unlucky for them to meet world number 1 Australia in the semis, yes, semi-finals.
And many people felt, Kurt, that if they won that semi-final, that they would have gone on to win.
Definitely. Definitely. Australia went on to win that semi-final game by 1 goal.
And they eventually went on to win the gold medal, yeah.
Many pundits thought that Jamaica had the best team at the World Cup that year.
Were you one of those pundits?
I definitely was. I still think so. They were definitely at least the 2nd best team at the World Cup.
A 1-goal thriller that was. I remember watching that game, that semi-final with Australia in my car at the car wash. It was so intense.
I can just imagine. I was on my sofa.
Well, you were more comfortable than I was.
Definitely. Even though I was comfortable, I was in disarray. I mean, I really thought that was a winnable game for the Jamaicans.
I mean, no doubt. I mean, they did lose it by just 1 goal.
Yep. But I'm sure with 5 minutes to go, this will be a hard task for the England Roses to try to come back from here. All the Jamaicans need to do at this point is keep scoring their center pass, and they should be okay.
Well, the biggest win margin was a 55-47 win for England in game 2 of this series in Manchester, the AO Arena. Aiken-George does well. And this 55-47 scoreline was where they lost game 2.
Aiken-George such a superstar. She missed that first shot, but as she usually does, cleans up the rebound and finished with a jump shot.
Oh, time is held as Shaw went down. She's very tough, Shaw. Not the conventional looking athlete. When you see her, you wouldn't notice how athletic she is. She's a very tough cookie, Jess Shaw.
And that was a strong contest by Crystal Plummer, and she was lucky not to be sent off by the umpire. The umpire gave her a warning, which is quite unusual these days. Usually the umpires go straight to a sending off.
Yeah.
And the Jamaican coaches are onto it. Sasha Gay Henry not mucking around. She's making a change to bring Zardy Green back on, taking no chances here. To play with 6 players against a top-tier team like England would definitely be a hard task.
So great, quick thinking by Sasha Gay Henry, Sunshine Girls coach. Aiken George lands this one. The lead now.
When Aiken George sits back in the circle and protects that back space, it's almost impossible to contest her, because not only is she tall, she has a solid hold on her, so she can really protect that back space and protect the ball coming in.
Roses in the circle. And they get a goal. They'll have possession of the ball, the Sunshine Girls. A change again for the Roses.
Last roll of the dice here for the England Roses. A change in goalkeeper. Halimat Adio, of London Pulse. She comes in at goalkeeper. She's a very experienced goalkeeper. She's a very exciting player. She would have played with Fumi Fadojo in club competitions.
And this is the first time we've seen her in Kingston.
And the first time we will be seeing her in this series so far.
Well done there by Abigail Sutherland, and she was supposed to get back the ball, but she ran along and left it. Sterling Humphrey did enough though to find a quick pass.
Surely Abigail Sutherland is in the mix for the player of the match. She's been having an outstanding game. She's been running non-stop up and down this court. Usually known for her attacking prowess, she's putting in a great defensive shift here tonight.
And that's why she's earned her spot for all 4 of these quarters.
Definitely.
3 minutes just over on the clock inside the stadium, inside the arena, inside the sports center.
Adimat, she thought she had that one. It was her first touch on the ball, but called for the contact.
Aiken George all by herself, and the lead now goes up to 8. And already the Sunshine Girls have done tremendously well, way better than they did in game number 3. They have not come to play. They've already outscored themselves 16 to the 12 they scored in game 3 in this quarter. Shamira Sterling Humphrey again. Fabulous work by the captain. I wouldn't be surprised if she wins player of the game again. This time she's called for a contact. Around the circle edge, England can sense now they're just going through the motion, but with 2 minutes on the clock, less than, no doubt that they still have a chance of going forward. The center pass now with Jamaica. Sterling. It's down there at the defensive end, watching this great performance by her team in the attacking circle. Shanice Beckford, she's been great from that distance, and again, she puts it down for the Sunshine Girls. And with this lead, they more than likely should take this series, take this game 4, and the Rowan Hornsby Trophy.
Absolutely, the Jamaicans, they started slow, but they built throughout this contest, and they have put on a clinical performance in attack. Good hands there from Zardy. The crowd wanted her so bad to get that one, but just pulled up by the umpire. This is the distance that Lewis Pearson liked to shoot from, just on top of that circle, and she nails another one.
Less than a minute, which all but confirms. And that is why you are hearing the roar inside this National Indoor Sports Center. Not much time left now to play. And every goal from here, it is going to get louder and louder. Ronaldo Aiken-George moves it now to 60. The biggest lead, the highest score we've seen this series. And there's nothing now stopping the Sunshine Girls from claiming another home series against England in the last 9 years. They haven't lost to them at home, and that winning streak continues as they have the center pass with just a mere 12 seconds on the clock.
And as we start this new cycle with a 3-year partnership between the England Roses and the Sunshine Girls, the Jamaican Sunshine Girls, they will go down in history as the first winner of this elusive trophy.
And there's confirmation. The Sunshine Girls, 61-53 winners over the England Roses. And my, Kingston has gone ballistic. I'm not sure if I am in Kingston or if I'm seeing Bacchanal in Port of Spain. But what I can tell you is that the yellow shirts, the yellow dresses, the black, the green, the gold is out in their radiance. And Jamaica, my goodness.
It's a party here at the National Indoor Sports Center. The fans are loving this dominant win by the Jamaicans. And as customary, the Sunshine Girls are dancing on court.
They will treat the crowd, of course, as the two teams meet for their hip hoorays. Well, Kurt, coming into this series, it was a big blow for the Jamaica Sunshine Girls with the loss of their usual captain, Janelle Fowler, who will join into that circle now. She was here supporting the team. But many people still thought that because of how good the team is, that they would have had a great chance nonetheless. Romelda Aiken-George was asked to step in place of Janelle Fowler, and she, along with Shanice Beckford, guided the Jamaica Sunshine Girls to a brilliant win. They stuttered in the first 2 games, they came back great in the first one to draw that one 49-49. They stumbled further, losing 55-47 in game 3. But Shamira Sterling-Humphrey, their captain, said, we're coming home and we're going to win it. And they delivered a great performance, starting with game 3 on Monday, winning 49-50-49. And then now a commanding performance to win this one, as you see here, 61-53. And my goodness, in favor, winning the Road Hornsby Trophy.
In true Jamaican fashion, they did it in style. That game had everything. It had spectacular intercept. It had razzle-dazzle plays from the Jamaicans. The flair, the excitement, the athleticism. It all came out in that game. It was such a dominant performance, and people underestimate the importance of playing international tournaments on a regular. The Jamaicans, they weren't together for 15 months, and they came together for this series. And while we expected them to dominate with the caliber of players they had, it took them some time to get it together, but they got it together when it mattered the most. And the Jamaican Sunshine Girls will go away victors here, and they'll have a lot to celebrate.
They outscored England in this final quarter 19-14. A tremendous performance they had, the Sunshine Girls, 19-14, yes. And they did a tremendous job. Romelda Aiken-George was asked to step in, as I mentioned, in place of Janelle Fowler, and she gave a good account of herself. Liv Sheen, well, we saw her brilliant, only missing 2 shots all series up until this point, and she missed 5 in this game. Very crucial, hurting the England Roses, who were without Helen Houseby, already taking a hit to start the game. But Romelda Aiken-George and Shanice Beckford, they were phenomenal for the team. Sunshine Girls, of course, there were moments though that the back line defensively couldn't do much, but they were great and perfect almost for this entire season. This series led by their captain, Shamira Sterling-Humphrey.
And when we talk about the luxury of talent that we have in Jamaica, last match I mentioned the shooters, and we have up-and-coming shooters like Shimona Nelson and Simone Gordon, who we saw at Fast 5 to come in. But let's just give Aiken-George some respect for a moment. She was at home in Australia treating a knee injury when Janelle Fowler dropped out of the series. Sasha Gay Henry picked up the phone and called her, and because of the love and she has for her country, she answered that call and she flew over to England with her baby Gigi, and she stood up. She started a bit shaky and a lot of person had concern, but the veteran delivered when it mattered most.
Beckford was good as well. She was our player to watch for this game, and she delivered as much as we expected. Well, the Sunshine Girls are on court with their celebrations as a team. The National Indoor Sports Center, they're also celebrating with them. We'll take a break and come right back, and we'll hear from the player of the match and the coaches.
And Victoria Sports Club are currently outside of the qualification and playoff spots. Both teams desperate for a win in the UEFA Europa Conference League. Catch the encounter live on Thursday, November 28th at 10:30 a.m., 11:30 a.m. ECT on SportsMax 2 and on the SportsMax app.
Welcoming you back here to the National Indoor Sports Center in Kingston, Jamaica. And we are getting ready to talk to the captain of the Sunshine Girls team, Shamira Sterling-Humphrey. Shamira, I know I don't want to talk much about the game early on. I just want to get your feelings of winning this trophy for the very first time in front of your home crowd.
Oh my God, it's such an overwhelming feeling. Knowing that my team hasn't played international netball since the World Cup, and to come out and put on a performance like that on a team who have played 17 test matches in the World Cup is very commendable.
Yeah, I do want to pick up on that point. 15 months without playing an international game. Y'all came back here, you had your challenges. Just how good of a group of girls do you have here for the Sunshine Girls team?
I mean, all of us are really good friends outside of the netball environment, and I think that's where the camaraderie comes in, and the gel and the unit, so really grateful for that.
I have to ask you about your game. You stepped up tremendously in the last two games coming on, starting on Monday. What about your performance? What do you make of it?
I'm really glad that I was able to put out that performance, because I know in England I didn't perform any at all, but it's really good to be on home turf and giving it all for the fans.
What do you want to say to those fans supporting you?
I want to thank them so much, because as I said, we didn't expect this crowd, but we now know that this is netball country as well.
All right, congratulations to you.
Thank you.
All right, that's Shamira Sterling-Humphrey there, the Sunshine Girls captain, and I'm here now with the captain of the England Roses. Talk to me a little bit about this performance. I must have been a little bit disappointed to not be able to close out coming into Kingston with a one-goal lead.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we spoke so much about how hard it will be to win in Jamaica. But, you know, it's disappointing for us when we started that game so strong that we let them back in. And, you know, we need to be confident that we were able to chase the game yesterday and get ourselves back into it. And we were able to lead the game today, but then we weren't able to close it off. So we just need to be able to get full game performance in.
Yeah, Francesca, coming into London to Kingston, it was a different experience for your team because of the atmosphere, the heat as well. Did that play a part in the results that you got here?
Look, it's an amazing experience to play here in this heat and the lovely sun and, you know, the atmosphere and vibes that they have here. But that's no excuse for not showing up and being able to perform. We knew that would be the case. And, yeah, we need to just make sure that we're showing our skills and being disciplined on court to overcome that.
Any positives that you can take out of these outcomes?
Oh yeah, definitely so many positives. Like Jess has just done Jess Shaw wing attack, 2 back-to-back 60-minute games for England, and she's only just got a cap like a few months ago. You know, Liv's been amazing playing against some of the best defenders in the world. Like, you know, we've shown so much out on court. It's now just marrying it all up at the same time.
Thank you so much, Francesca, and tough luck to you.
Yes, thanks.
That's Francesca Williams there, the England Roses captain, and we're getting ready now for the closing presentation very shortly for this one, and we'll soon of course get to hear from the captains. I thought though that it was a really good performance from the Sunshine Girls. England Roses, they came here knowing that it would have been a different kind of under different circumstances for them to perform. It would have been much tougher going up against the likes of Shamira Sterling-Humphrey, Latanya Wilson, Jodie and Ward in the backline. They did make mention of it just now, did Francesca Williams. Speaking of the fact that they had to go up against the best defensive line probably in the world, a world-class one. 15 months this Sunshine Girls team has not played a test series since the World Cup. And yeah, proving for them to be not much of a bother. They did lose Janine Fowler because of a medical problem. Janine Fowler Nemhard, she is now after getting married recently. But yet, Shamira Sterling-Humphrey and her unit have done such a wonderful job to get the team the series win here, 2-1 in Kingston. They did go down by 1 goal, 1 game in Manchester, losing that second game 55-47 after coming back to get a draw 49-49 in the first. But they came here to Kingston. Shamira Sterling promised to deliver for her team, but yet they came here and they put on not only a good show, but something special to secure for the first time the Rowan Hornsby Trophy in its glory, named after Molly Rowan, former Sunshine Girl, long-standing serving president of Netball Jamaica, and Jean Hornsby, the first black woman to play international netball with England. That trophy named in their honor, and Jamaica Sunshine Girls will be the first to get that trophy. And so for now, we'll be seeing the closing ceremony for this game. Go over down now to Miss Basilia Cuff, who will take us through the presentation.
Gifts courtesy of Jamaica Public Service Company to be presented by Senior VP of Customer Experience and Commercial, Miss Pia Baker. And the player of the match goes to Rhea Dixon. And we have the first presentation to be made by Miss Imani Laidlaw, Marketing Coordinator for Powerade. Congratulations to Rhea Dixon of the Sunshine Girls. Make some noise! Rhea will also receive a gift courtesy of the Jamaica Public Service Company Limited, to be presented by Senior VP of Customer Experience and Commercial, Pia Baker. Congratulations to you, Rhea. Make some noise for Rhea, everybody. And right at this time, we're going to be inviting to greet both teams, Dr. the Most Honorable Andrew Holness, Prime Minister of Jamaica, the Honorable Olivia Babsy Grange, Minister of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport, and Mr. Mark Golding, Leader of the Opposition. They will be greeting both teams at this time. And of course, we just want to remind you that the next series that you should be getting ready for is coming up right here at the National Indoor Sports Center. Is Jamaica versus South Africa from January 18 to 25. So the Sunshine Girls will be in action on January 18 to 25. Jamaica.
Yeah, so we're getting ready. Well, we're seeing the presentation going on there. The Prime Minister, the Most Honorable Andrew Holness, meeting the team, Sunshine Girls team, along with Olivia Bosgrange in front of him. And yeah, I'm sure he's going to be a very proud Prime Minister. Earlier we saw Rhea Dixon, the British-born, England-born player, qualifies to play for Jamaica through her grandparents. You'll see her being met very shortly. Abigail Sutherland meeting the Prime Minister now. Shamira Sterling Humphrey taking it through. Zawadi Green, who made her debut in this game, thought she was really good. Jodianne Ward now they're meeting. Katie Ann Dehaney, she got a start ahead of Jodianne Ward today. She put in her minutes. That was forced to change early as England went back early. There's Rhea Dixon meeting the Prime Minister now. She's born in England, as I mentioned. She was named player of this game. Khadija Williams didn't play much today, but she was phenomenal in game 3, very influential in that result. Shanice Beckford shot the Jamaican Sunshine Girls team to a draw, scored the game winner on Monday. They're also being met by the opposition leader, Mark Golden. And Beckford again putting in work overtime to perform well here for the Sunshine Girls. Francesca Williams meeting up with the dignitaries now, led by Prime Minister Andrew Holness. These two teams performed tremendously for this Kingston crowd. They put on 4 intense battles, starting in Manchester at home for England. This is the first series that they will play in a cycle of 4 years. These two teams. Liv Sheen, she was tremendous as well. Missing 5, her worst game shooting for the entire series coming in this encounter. I'm sure she wouldn't be pleased about that, but as Francesca Williams said, lots of positives coming out of this one. They found formulations for formulas that have worked for them. Tried some of those formulas in the last minute of this game, but it was too far gone by then. Side by side in unity, in celebration of the Sunshine Girls, Prime Minister and opposition leader of this great nation, standing next to the trophy that we've seen for the first time. Beautifully designed, that Rowan Hornsby trophy. Not many people have left the National Indoor Sports Center. Some have, but the numbers that have remained to see the Sunshine Girls lift that trophy still high. Janelle Fowler, she's in the mist. She was not able to compete, pulling out of this series in the last minute, the 11th hour, citing a medical emergency. But she was still here to support the Sunshine Girls team. Romelda Aiken-George taking her place 1 week before, meeting the team in England. And my, she did well enough to deliver the goods, deliver a sparkling trophy for her Sunshine Girls team. And, of course, for the people of Jamaica. There's that trophy. Rowan Hornsby in his effervescence, in his glory. First time you're seeing it here being unveiled in this 2024 Horizon Series between world number 4 Jamaica, the eventual winners, and world number 2 England Roses. Molly Rowan, one half of the trophy name, former president of Netball Jamaica, and as well former Sunshine Girl. She is speaking, and we go down and hear what she has to say.
It is an honor for me that the teams are competing for the first hold on the Rowan Hornsby Trophy. Today's event was just not a competition. It is about the values that sport teaches us: teamwork, resilience, determination, dedication, excellence, and respect. It is about lifting up others and creating friendships and memories for a lifetime. Talking about memories, we must pay tribute to our netball legends who started all of this in 1959, and some are here today. It is my hope that these games will inspire the next generation of netballers to push beyond their limits and embrace the power of sport. And therefore, today, I celebrate everyone here: the players, the coaches, volunteers, the fans, supporters, and in particular the government through the Ministry of Sport. All of you make events like this happen. So, congratulations again to the teams, and congratulations to the Sunshine Girls.
Thank you so very much, Honorable Molly Rowan, past president of World Netball. Thank you. Put your hands together for her, everybody. It is now time to announce the player of the series. Who do you think is the player of the series? Now, the Player of the Series award will be presented by the Honorable Olivia Babsy-Grange, Minister of Culture, Gender, Entertainment, and Sport, and this award is sponsored by Gilbert Netball. And the Player of the Series is Shamira Starling Humphrey.
So yeah, no doubt that the Sunshine Girls captain is the player of the series. She did have a shaky start in Manchester in the first 2 games, but she came back here to Kingston leading her troops, and she was absolutely phenomenal. So no doubt that this world-class athlete, world-class netballer, best defender in the world, is named the player of the series. She came back here to Kingston saying that she wanted to deliver something special for her fans after losing the second game.
Minister of Culture, Gender, Entertainment.
And my goodness, did she deliver something special, not only individually, but leading her team.
All right, and a part of this award is also
like the
by JPS.
great
Thank you so very much.
character that she is. All smiles.
It is now time for the presentation of the medals to our winning team, the Sunshine Girls. Make some noise for our Sunshine Girls, everybody.
Sunshine Girls now will receive, as you heard, their medals.
And these medals will be presented by the Prime Minister, Dr. the Most Honorable Andrew Holness. And the medals are the kind courtesy of the Jamaica Public Service Company. And we're also going to invite opposition leader, Mr. Mark Golding, to also help with these presentations. to invite our Sunshine Girls to come. And we're going to ask you to look that way, all right? So line up this way, facing that way. Look, facing the camera. Right, so come across.
Yeah. So we're trying to, of course, getting ready to see the medals being presented to the Sunshine Girls. And yeah, they deserve it. They played their hearts out. Of course, they came here with an advantage, knowing that they would have won majority of the last games here. 5 of the last 9 games being played here in England. Adding these 2 will make it 11
All right, the medals are
games.
going to be presented by Prime
Making them win
Minister
7 of the last 11 games here.
Holness
Most of them played against England.
and opposition leader Mark
In the
Golding.
21 games that they've played in the last 9 years, Jamaica have won 9 of them. They're gaining ground
Again, congratulations
on England.
to our Sunshine
11 of them
Girls.
going to that team and drawing just 1. And these young
And yes, we want
ladies
to remind you
will wear
that
those
come
medals with
next
pride
year, January,
because they get ready for their next
January
assignment
18 to 25,
against
the
South
Sunshine
Africa.
Girls will be going up against South Africa right here at the
So
National,
netball is coming to
the
Kingston.
National Indoor Sports
It is
Center.
featuring in the Caribbean world-class netball, which is something that we are very happy to see. After 15 months of not playing international netball, because they did not play, as Shamir Sterling Humphrey would have mentioned, since the World Cup, where they finished 3rd last year in Cape Town. The Sunshine Girls now will have back-to-back series being played at home, starting with 2 games of 4 in this Horizon Series, and now they get ready for the next assignment in January against South Africa, which is very near.
And I want to say a huge thank you to DJ Cryptic for keeping us entertained throughout the night and of course last night. Big ups DJ Cryptic. Put your hands together for DJ Cryptic over there, everybody. No sound of clapping, no be soon, no dance, you know. Yes. Thank you so much.
So the presentation of medals still going on. The Most Honorable Andrew Holness, Katie and Dehaney, all smiles.
Also want to say a huge thank you to our umpires for tonight, Garth Fowler, Allison Harrison, and our reserve Angela Armstrong Lush.
Abigail Sutherland, she
umpires tonight, everybody. So many
was, of course,
a possibility. A huge thank you.
rotated with Crystal Plummer throughout this series, but in this game, she commanded her position at the center of the court. Phenomenal she was, Abigail Sutherland, picking her passes and also getting back to assist on the defensive end. Mark Golden now is going to assist the Prime Minister, the opposition leader, Mark Golden. He's presenting some medals as well. Tanya Wilson about to get hers. One of 6 of these Jamaica Sunshine Girls, or 7 who play international, who play professionally outside of these shores. 6 of them play in Australia. 3 of them for the Adelaide Thunderbirds, Adelaide Thunderbirds, and 2 of them for West Coast Fever in Dehaney and Beckford. 3 for Thunderbirds, Humphrey, Wilson, and Aiken George. Rhea Dixon playing professionally in England's Super League for Nottingham Forest Netball. Yes, Nottingham Forest. They do have a netball arm of their football team, their English Premier League team. Medal presentation now going over to the officials. They too play a part in this team. So the winners getting their medals early. And yeah, not many people have left the National Indoor Sports Center. In fact, lots of them have come down closer to get a closer glimpse of the Sunshine Girls, this beloved Sunshine Girls team. Should I say the highest ranked team in the Caribbean in all sports.
The Horizon Netball Series, and of course, big ups and well played.
They're ranked 4th in the world, making them the best team in Jamaica. 1st, and then the best team in the Caribbean, highest ranked regionally. Of course, excluding the West Indies, who are also 4th in the T20 rankings. But that's a collective of regional players. So if we're talking about individual teams or individual countries that have teams representing world-class level, then the Sunshine Girls stand out.
To present the championship trophy to the winning team, and we're going to invite.
Well, in a couple of moments, the Sunshine Girls will lift for the first time a well-guarded trophy.
All right, but just before we do that, we're going to invite all the umpires to join us in the center.
Before we see that, before we see the Sunshine Girls hoist the medal, that's silverware, the umpires will be appreciated.
The center right here so that you can receive your medals. All right, here we go. All right, so the 3 umpires are here. They'll be receiving their medals. We have Gert Fowler, Allison Harrison, and Angela Armstrong-Lush. Put your hands together for umpires tonight, everyone. And it is now time to present the championship trophy to the winning team, to be done by the Honorable Molly Rowe.
There it is.
It's the Rowan Hornsby Trophy.
The Rowan Hornsby Trophy in its splendor, going to the Sunshine Girls of Jamaica. It looks really heavy. Almost as tall as Shamira Sterling Humphrey is. And they gather around for pictures, and deservingly so. The first trophy, a series between these two teams in this 4-year cycle, going to the Sunshine Girls. Named in honor of 2 of World Netball's legends. So yeah, that's it here from us on SportsMax after a wonderful 2 days to cap off what was an entertaining 4-game series. The Sunshine Girls holding on for a win in Kingston, coming back 1 game down. Having lost game 2, they came back to Kingston with a mission: deliver a win for our country. Game 3, They were 50-49 winners, holding out for the 1-goal lead, and then they capped it off with something splendid. A treat, mind you, for their home team. 61-53 winners against the English Roses. My, the world number 2 team falling to the world number 4 team, Jamaica. Little but we talawa, they say, and deservingly so, as they hold that glistening trophy. Well, that brings us to the end of this broadcast, and I want to say, before we go, thank you on behalf of our producer, Donald Oliver, director, Janelle Henderson, and Michael Edwards, the entire production team, Kurt Dale, my co-commentator, and myself, Gerard Morrisili. Well, we'll see you probably in January when the Sunshine Girls get ready for their next assignment between the 18th and 25th here in Kingston against South Africa. Until then, it's bye-bye for now.
Christmas Eve will find me where the love light gleams. I'll be home for Christmas, if only in my dreams.
It's Tools, Hardware and Supplies Black Friday sale, yes, with unbelievable deals, yes, and massive savings. Yes. Up to 70% off most items at all Tools locations. From porcelain tiles to doors to windows, bathroom fixtures, paints, and much more. Don't you miss out on the biggest home sale of the year.
Come visit us at 279 Spanish Town Road, 4 South Camp Road, 8 Red Hills Road,
or online at toolsja.com.
Tools!
The Lion King of Hardware.
For 30 years, we have redefined relaxation and self-care for males. We have perfected the art of male grooming. We have been with our boys and men every step of the way, from age 1 to maturity. This year, we invite you to experience 30 years of exemplary service made just for males. Welcome to your sanctuary, Total Male Spa, a woman's touch for the exceptional man.
Our Sunshine Girls are home and will host a test series for the first time in 3 years. They will renew their rivalry with England's Vitality Roses this month. Come out and support world-class netball from the National Indoor Sports Centre on November 25 at 6:30 p.m. and November 26 at 7 p.m. Get your tickets now at quapid.com. General admission $2,000. Courtside $3,500. VIP $5,500. Season passes are also available. Jamaica's Sunshine Girls are back and ready to roll.
comes to Ruibal. Ruibal tries to bring it back. It's the opening goal of the game, just 6 minutes in. A pass, and there's a shot from outside the box. Brian Zaragoza having a go. Wasn't the most difficult of tasks. There's the ball back, and there's the strike from a narrow angle. Altamira plays a pass to Bellerin. Brings that under control, plays it across, trying for the backheel finish was Vita Roque. The follow-up somehow goes wide. Taken away by Bayomo, maybe a follow-up here. Cut back to nobody in particular, it could reach to Bellerin. The outside, low cut back, it's a Roche with a deflected effort. Bellerin got a boot in. Another one into the box. And maybe a strike here, Ante Budimir is denied.